welcome back to Katha by Shraddha. Today's story is called A Dog Called Shoo. The original story is by Kavita Punyamurthy, and the first time I read the story, I read it on storyweaver.org. So be sure to check it out on that site too. Let's dive right in. A Dog Called Shoo. "Vroom, vroom! Shoo, shoo!" said the man on the bike. Get away from him, beta. It looks like a stray dog. I don't know maybe sick. Just don't touch it, beta," said the woman with the little child. "Shoo, shoo, shoo! Oh, for shoo!" cried the mithai wala. "You will scare my customers away. Go away, shoo!" said the man when Shoo went near his mithais. Poor Shoo. Shoo, shoo, shoo was all she heard. In fact, she thought that her name was Shoo. Shoo, as you must have guessed, was a street dog. But not always did Shoo live on the street. She used to live as a puppy with a family. Yes, that had a mother and a father, and if she remembered right, a little boy. But that little boy was not a very nice boy. He used to be mean to Shoo, and he made her do things all the time, kept shouting at her. He kept demanding things. "Show me a trick. Here, fetch that stick. Get up on your feet. Shake hands, now." Poor Shoo. She was just a puppy. She did not know any tricks. All she wanted was a little hug and some free playtime. But the boy would never play with her just freely. He always wanted her to do something for him, and she didn't understand what to do. One day, the boy got bored of her, got tired of her. He wanted a new toy. And so, very unfortunately, the father put Shoo in the car and drove a long distance away and dropped Shoo at a bus stop. And the car drove away. Poor Shoo. She kept looking at the car fading away very quickly and waited and waited and waited. But the car never came back. The father never came back, and she never saw the boy again either. She didn't know what to do. First, it was very hot and sunny on the street, and then it got very cold and chilly, and then it rained, and it got very wet and very damp, and she did not know where to shelter. So she just sat huddled under that bus stop for a very long time. But then she got very hungry. And finally, out of hunger, she went to the closest rubbish heap and started digging for food. Dirt stuck to her fur, her beautiful fur. Her nose got all scratchy and sticky. Her paws got little bits of glass stuck in them. Poor Shoo. Now she was a street dog, a streetie. She was always searching for food and always hungry and scared, very scared of humans. One day, Shoo saw another little boy called Adit walking down the street. Adit was coming back from school, and Adit saw Shoo. And they looked at each other. And then Adit slowly took his backpack down and took out his lunch dabba, his lunch tiffin box. There were a few idlis in there that he had not finished. Amma had given him too many idlis, as usual, for lunch. There were 3 or 4 left. And he opened his dabba and he kept it down. And then he moved away to see if Shoo would come and eat. But Shoo did not come close to him. She was too scared. She could smell the idlis and she was very hungry. She was ravenous, but she was too scared. So Adit went to the closest shop and asked them for a piece of newspaper. And he brought the newspaper out. And he put the idlis on the newspaper and he kept it close by. And then he packed his his lunchbox, and he put it in his bag and he walked away. He walked away some distance and then he hid behind a gate to watch if Shoo would eat. And after Shoo saw that he had entered the gate and she couldn't see him anymore, she quietly, slowly came towards the idlis. Yum. Tasted like fresh, good food. And she walked, just chomped away at it, and she finished those idlis. Since that day, every school day, Adit saved some food for Shoo. And he brought pieces of newspaper from home so that he could leave it on the ground with the food in there, especially for Shoo. And he always walked away because Shoo was too shy to come near him at first. But one day, as he put the newspaper down and he was putting the food in there, on top of that newspaper, he felt a little warm, wet nose rubbing against his scarf. He was delighted. Shoo was actually wagging her tail and rubbing her nose against his scarf, saying, "Hello there, friend." Adit was really happy and he slowly petted her. But then he walked away again, leaving Shoo to enjoy her food. And this went on and on for several weeks. And one day, as Adit walked away, Shoo ignored the food and she walked behind him very carefully and slowly. And Adit turned to look to see if Shoo was eating, and Shoo hid behind a scooter. Adit saw her hide. He was wondering, what is Shoo doing? So he walked a little further away and he looked back. He glanced back again. And just as he was looking back, Shoo hid again, this time behind a little bush. And again behind a little push cart. She did not want Adit to see her following him. And Adit understood. So he stuck his hands in his pockets and whistled a merry tune, and he walked on and on towards home, knowing for sure that Shoo was stealthily following him home. And as soon as he reached home, he opened the door and he yelled, "Amma, Appa, see, we have a guest. Can we keep her, please? I'm really good friends with her." And Amma and Appa looked and they saw who their guest was. And they smiled and said, "Okay, Adit, if she has chosen to follow you, we will keep her for as long as she wants to be with us." And they gave her a nice bath and a nice warm meal. And since that day, Shoo started living with her new family. Every day was a blast. She had so much fun and so much love. But every morning, when Adit left for school, her heart went thump, 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 thump. She was very worried. Would Adit come back? Or would he leave her? Would she see Adit again? And she would lay there across the front door, waiting for Adit to come home, and jump up in joy as soon as he walked home. Shoo understood that this was her forever family and this was her forever home. She even had a new name. She was not called Shoo anymore. Nobody yelled Shoo at her anymore, but they lovingly called her Rani. And that was the story of a dog called Shoo. I wanted to bring you this story, especially before Diwali, to remember all our street dogs during Diwali, during our firecracker time, loud music time, lights, glitzy lights time. Our streeties may feel insecure and scared. So let's watch out for streeties. If you live in a space that can allow street dogs to find shelter in your compound or your backyard or your garden, be kind. Leave that gate slightly open for them to nose their way in and find shelter within your walls. Leave extra bowls of water and food outside for our streeties. Be kind this Diwali and have a safe and happy Diwali. Thank you for listening as always. Bye.